Rock 102.1 KFMA, Oro Valley, Tucson, an Arizona Lotus Corp radio station.
Do you even smart speaker, bro?
Listen on your Amazon Echo device. Alexa, play Rock 102.1 KFMA.
You say it, I'll play it.
You want it? You got it. Reality radio done right. No nonsense, real and raw, just like you like it.
He's corrupt, he's inexperienced, and he lies.
Broadcasting from a broom closet in the Arizona Lotus Studios, it's Beef Vegan Presents.
One more time for a Monday. Yo, welcome back to the show. It's Beef Vegan Presents live on Rock 102.1 KFMA, streaming worldwide at KFMA.com on this beautiful Monday, April 3rd. Good morning, Weirdo.
Good morning.
And good morning, Tucson. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys had a fun and productive, beautiful weekend here in Southern Arizona. As there was a lot of things going on, a lot of events happening on our television screens that kept us entertained and sitting on the couches, and we're ready to go for a new week. We're going to recap it all. Of course, Final Fours was this weekend. We have our championship matchup for tonight. We'll check in with Spears and Ali a little bit later and see if San Diego State has a chance over UConn. Of course, for all you wrestling marks out there, Wrestlemania was in full effect 2 nights, and it delivered. It delivered in a major way. I feel like first night delivered more so than second night. We'll break that down a little bit later on. What's really cool for you guys listening is as I was gearing up, getting ready to, start the show, I go through my promo suite closet. Now, I already knew of certain things we were going to focus on and give away for this week, and I planned accordingly. But something slipped through the cracks. I got a pleasant little surprise as I look at my promo suite, and I'm like, oh, what is this? Huge show at the TCC. Oh, yeah, so I got a concert announcement with tickets before you can buy them for a massive band, a former KFMA Day band, who is going to be performing at the TCC in August. And that's all I can tell you right now, but just keep it here because once I make that announcement of that show that's in our very own backyard, no road trips necessary, I will be giving away tickets for that show and then all week long before they go on sale. So I'm stoked about that. It's something to definitely be excited about. There you go. Round of applause.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, so that all that and more is covered. Okay, we did Tappy Hour on Saturday at the Landing. I'd like to thank the Landing for hosting us. I posted a couple clips from that. That was fun. Nice couple beverages on a Saturday and some great grub there. I do like the setup there. So if you get a chance, check out the Tappy Hour podcast. And Saturday also was April 1st. And a lot of people didn't realize that. And we spent 3 weeks leading up to a great April Fool's Day prank. We announced our winner for our March Sadness emo bracket on our social media pages, Facebook and Instagram. And we announced that winner to be none other than Nickelback, the most emo band of all time. Now, if you recall, we were supposed to do, we're doing some promo for Nickelback because they have a show up in Phoenix, but then their management saw our Facebook page and they were about to pull everything away. And Mucho had to smooth things over and be like, no, you don't get it. It may look rough on the surface, but the intention is pure. So
it was good because you and Powers were talking about it and I wasn't paying attention. And then when I saw it, I was like, you mother.
That's
God,
right.
Dang it.
That's
all
right.
right.
Gotcha. April Fools. We'll announce our winner today and our grand prize winner as well, because we did inform the grand prize winner, the person who got the flyaway trip to Las Vegas. We're going to check in with them on the podcast broadcast today too. So there's a lot of stuff to look forward to. It's going to be a grand show. I promise you. We're going to get right into it with some music from the Smashing Pumpkins with your morning moron coming up next. But it's important to note that you need to keep it locked here all morning long because a lot of stuff's going on and I won't prove you wrong. I promise you that.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it. Let me share this screen again. If you guys probably saw this, but I got Weirdo in the bathroom. She'll be right back. But this was our Nickelback post, of course. And yes, Nickelback does hate us. But like I was saying in the show open, Powers, and I sent you an invite, by the way, because we're going to talk WrestleMania. As I sent you in the show open, Nickelback, they didn't confirm on an interview. I'm supposed to be talking with Chad Kroger, but he didn't respond. So yeah, I'll do it one more time. I'll troll him. Rock 102.1 KFMA. We're back live on the podcast broadcast. And today on the podcast broadcast, after Five Finger Death Punch, we're going to do our TMI Top 5. We're also going to be breaking down a lot of different things, do a WrestleMania recap, a real estate agent's parody video who's gone viral, and what's healthier, turkey burgers or beef burgers. That's just the tip of the iceberg of what we're covering on the podcast broadcast. You can join the conversation, youtube.com/beefvegan, or stream it on our Facebook page at beefvegan as well, or just keep it right here on Rock 102.1, because again, we have music on the way from Five Finger Death Punch, and we're kicking things off with the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Also, I forgot to mention, I have my single song takeover, but I need your requests. What song do you want me to play that you don't hear on KFMA that much anymore? Give me a call, 600 KFMA, and request away. Maybe your song will be our single song takeover today. All right, clear. All right, so yes, we are going to do WrestleMania recap, our TMI Top 5, and more. I'm seeing Jeff said that he thought night 1 was better than night 2 as well. And you didn't see both nights yet.
I have not seen the second night. Can you send me an invite again?
Sure.
Yeah, I did not see the second night. I mean, obviously, I'm hearing little things here and there, but I'm planning on watching it tonight. But night 1 was, I mean, they set the bar very high.
They did, right? And well, I will say this, and this is not necessarily a spoiler, but you know, if we're talking about how things were going wrong ever since Shane McMahon, I mentioned that. The second thing that I didn't get to mention was the fact that Finn Balor got busted open during Hell in a Cell.
Okay.
Edge threw a ladder at him, right? And it connected with his forehead, and he busted it open good. Really good. And they had to stop the match for it to get him all covered up.
Oh, okay.
Which is stupid because he was painted up like the demon. So you couldn't even see the blood, you know, but it was all over the mat.
Oh,
yeah,
got it.
It was old school Attitude Era blood, and I was all for it.
Right, because they went away from it for a while. They're like, you can't show color anymore. Like, obviously, little nicks happen here and there, but they're still doing that, right? Where they don't want to see a lot.
Absolutely. Rock 102.1, who's this?
Daniel.
Yo, are you trying to make that request? What song should I play for my single song takeover, dude?
How about Bartender by Rehab?
Bartender by Rehab. I should still have that in my playlist, and I do like that a lot. Let me see. Because hold on. Let me put in Rehab. That should definitely be in there. That's a good throwback. Oh, Sitting at a Bar. It's called Sitting at a Bar. So yes. Yeah. I'm definitely doing that. I'll do it after the commercial break. What was your name again?
Daniel.
All right, Daniel. Excellent request, brother. I appreciate it.
All right, thanks.
No worries. Later.
All right.
All right. So yeah, good. Got my single song takeover. Good to go.
Nailed it.
Yes, it would have been a gusher. And they handled it. It is what it is, but
right.
At the same time, it sucks because it was Hell in a Cell. It would have added to the match, and I feel like they needed that to add to that match, even though it was a payoff and a culmination of a long storyline. But it's Hell in a Cell, man. Show some blood during that.
Right. I mean, that's what people are going to expect. And I did read the recap on CBS Sports for that match this morning, and saw that like Edge even brought in a ladder, and considering he just did the biography thing on A&E, and he's like, I hate ladders. I never want to do them again. I just don't even like looking at them. So the fact that he went ahead and added that into the match was cool to see.
That's his thing, right?
Yeah.
Captain TLC. So, you know, him bringing it in got a big pop and didn't really surprise too many people. And in fact, you know, he knows how to use it. So he just threw that ladder at him, and it looked like Finn had his hands up to sell it well, but he leaned his head a little too far out, and it just smacked him, it cut him right open. And it took about 3 to 5 minutes of them taking care of Finn while Edge was stalling. And again, that took away from the match. So,
right. And I mean, was it a situation like with Undertaker and Foley when they would like pull him away in that Hell in a Cell match, and then they came back? Like, was it deader like that?
No. It was, and that was a different time, and that was somewhat scripted as well. So this was just kind of like the last 5-6 years. Whenever somebody would get cut open inadvertently, then medical doctors have to attend to them off camera while the opponent is on camera, just kind of dicking around,
right,
looking stupid. So that sucked. And I really felt like after Shane McMahon tore his hamstring, that was a bad omen and more bad things was going to happen. And I was super nervous, especially after, Finn got cut open about the main event, being like, oh, what's going to go wrong during the main event? Because it seems like it's almost like a slippery slope, right?
Right.
Once one thing happens, it's just a domino effect.
Exactly.
Yeah, someone else is calling. I have to give them the bad news. Rock 1, 2.1, what's your name?
Hey, it's Jason, man.
Hey, what's up, Jason?
Hey, I have a single song takeover request, and it would make my day.
It's going to be tough. I already got one. I'm actually pretty stoked about, Jason. So it has to be better than Rehab sitting at a bar. So what song are you going to?
All right.
Yeah, what song are you going to request?
I was thinking Rival Sons Shooting Stars.
That's good. Maybe tomorrow. But Shooting Stars for me today. Nah, I'm looking at sitting at a bar. And I'm like, oh, I haven't heard that in a long, long time. So I think
man, that's a good one too. I gotta admit.
yeah, that's nice. But yeah, remind me tomorrow, and then maybe the single song takeover will be Rival Sons, because of course they were just here for Greta Van Fleet, so might as well show some love, right?
Hell yeah, man! Thank you.
No worries, Jason. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it. All right, we got our TMI Top 5 coming up here in a few minutes. And Powers, I don't know if you're able to jump in on the stream, but if we're talking WrestleMania, definitely want to talk with you, and I see you on the stream. So, yeah, the Shane-O hack is pretty rough. And I can't play the clip because WWE, will shut it down. But it's all over Twitter. His entire match was just 30 seconds. It was brutal to watch. And the big news from that weekend that had nothing to do with what was going on inside the ring is the potential buyer for WWE.
Oh,
yeah, which
there's been an
is
update in that.
Oh yeah, and that was trending, and it's the same owner of UFC, but even more importantly, it's Ari Emanuel, right? Does that name sound familiar to you?
No.
You ever watch the show Entourage?
Yes.
You know their agent in that film or in that show, Ari? That's based off the real life dude who owns this Endeavor Group, which is the largest talent agency in the world, which also owns the UFC. And now they are in talks and speculated to be announced today at some point as the new owners of both the WWE and UFC.
Okay.
So what does that mean for fans of both? Well, that means if they're under the same umbrella company, there could be more crossover. Conor McGregor was already running his mouth against, I think, Paul Heyman or somebody. So a potential Conor McGregor showing up at the WWE under contract with UFC, definitely a strong possibility. Some other stuff as well. Maybe it will benefit the UFC in a way that WWE knows how to promote their product and also add showmanship to it, which might be a negative for the UFC diehards, who want just the pure athleticism and, competition of the combat sport not to be misconstrued as a fixed event like what WWE. It's not fixed. It's just straight up entertainment. And we know that. But
yeah, and then so I just looked it up, and it says the source is saying that Endeavor shareholders will get 51% of the combined company, while WWE shareholders will have 49%.
Right.
I don't know what any of that means.
Well, yeah, it's a publicly traded company. 51% means they own control, so they call the shots in that, and the rest of it is up for stock buyers to be able to buy and reap the benefits of being a stock option owner.
I mean, are they going to have options to be able to deal with the storylines and stuff? I imagine all creative will still stay with WWE.
Well, no, in this situation, just like when they did with UFC, I think them buying UFC is a perfect example of what Ari does. And he's smart enough to know if it's not broke, don't fix it. When they bought the UFC from the Zuffa brothers, Dana White is essentially the president of the company, but not the owner. But he's very much the spokesperson. He is the Vince McMahon of the company as far as the guy in charge. And with that, they kept Dana White in that position and gave him a raise. And then he's still matchmaking and running the company as is. And then Ari's cashing checks. Right. So I'm sure there's other internal resources that Endeavor provides. But at the end of the day, as long as they continue to produce results, then there's not going to be any changes. I could see that being the same as Nick Khan being president of the WWE and Triple H still being in charge of creative. This past calendar year, WWE stock is up 33%, and they have like a banner year as far as growth and revenue and everything that they've been doing. They've been knocking out of the park. So they definitely don't want to mess with that. They don't want to ruin it. They want to keep collecting those checks. And that's what makes them, I think $7 billion is how much it's going to cost.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Rock 1 2.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. So we're just talking about the potential sale of WWE that should be announced here soon. So that means WWE and the UFC are going to have the same parent company, and that is none other than Ari Emanuel. It might sound familiar to you. Ari is the real life agent that the character Ari from the show Entourage was based off of. So Mark Wahlberg's former super agent, Ari, is now the owner of the Endeavor Group. It's the largest talent agency in the world. And also they're starting to be like Disney. They're just gobbling up IP, live properties, everything else. And with that, it looks like WWE is going to be the next. And that's what they're speculating. So WWE and UFC going to have the same ownership. But that's not even our TMI top 5. As we're back here on the podcast broadcast, let me share with you the top 5 headlines of today that had nothing to do with that. So maybe not even top 5. I just want to cram in a bunch of information for you. First off, you know, China has billions of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for generations, they had a policy which you couldn't have more than one kid.
Yes.
Right. And that led to an uprising of female Chinese women being put up for adoption because essentially parents in China wanted to keep their name and legacy alive. So they were all trying to have that boy.
Yeah.
And that kind of screwed up the ratio a bunch. Well, now China is struggling with plummeting birth and marriage rates, which you would think is a good news for China.
Right.
But at the end of the day, the more people, the better the economy.
Yes.
I don't know how this works, but that's the same thing that we're facing here in the country. Our politicians are encouraging us to breed like rabbits because it's good for the rich.
Mm-hmm.
Well, go F yourself.
Yeah.
I'm broke as hell. I'm not trying to have 17 kids.
Yeah.
Right? Even though I like the process of making them. Well, this is what some colleges are doing in China to try to offset that. They're giving students a week off next month to go fall in love.
Oh, my Lord.
That's a quote. They want to give students 1 week off to go out there, find the love of their life, and start procreating.
Yeah.
1 week.
No pressure.
Yeah.
You'll figher it out.
When I was single, it took me months to match with somebody on Tinder, and I was swiping right on everybody. So good luck, Chinese students. All right. In other headlines, California isn't used to having this much stormy weather. And according to Google, a lot of Californians are Googling, what are thunderstorms?
Are you serious?
Yes. That's how beautiful it is in California. Just wait till they figure out what a haboob is.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And then click on images. And you'll see some storm clouds, and then some you won't.
Oh, hopefully part of their searches, they're like, oh, thunderstorm. Oh, monsoon. Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm not moving to Arizona. Let's stop that trend.
Yeah. I don't mind them either. You know, it's like, again, more people, the better the economy, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
All right. 2 DC firefighters are in trouble right now after they stopped at a Chick-fil-A on their way to a medical emergency. So you got to fire those guys. But at the same time, you can't be hangry when you're trying to save someone's life. I'll give you an example of being hangry and making the wrong decisions, whether you're a firefighter or you're just a woman who wants some chicken wings immediately. There was a woman who caused $21,000 in damages at a Wingstop because she was upset over a policy where you have to show your credit card for online purchases. That's it. That was it. That was enough to slow her down enough to be like, you know what? You see your window? F your window. Picking up chairs, throwing it through everywhere, $21,000 worth of damages.
That's a lot of effort.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
Stay out of the way of a woman who is hangry. That's the takeaway there. And speaking of Chick-fil-A from earlier, they announced that they were discontinuing their side salad and then immediately reversed their decision after fat fans all over the country had negative feedback. So they're like, oh, sorry. I thought you only wanted deep fried chicken.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those things where in this society that we live in, the one thing that we can control, and it's not politics, it's not our politicians, it's not legislation, it's not any of that. It's that fast food. If we are angry enough at our fast food overlords, they will immediately reverse their decisions to keep our fat mouths happy. So that's good news.
Except for McDonald's and the McRib.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? They're doing us a favor. They're like, we know you want it, but we're killing you. And even we know that.
Yes.
All right, let's hit the reset. We're keeping the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast where Powers is going to join us for his WrestleMania recap. And then when we return, I got more that I want to cover. And this is for all my foodie friends out there who are in relationships and they're with girlfriends who always want to go for the turkey burger. But is a turkey burger really better than a beef burger? I'll break that down for you next. I know it's hard hitting information. All right, sometimes it's a fucking Monday. What are you gonna do? All right, let's get Powers on the stream here. He's been waiting patiently backstage. Try not to come in too hot though, Powers. All right, so I gotta take him backstage. He's gonna get his copyright infringement and booted off of YouTube. All right, do you got the music stopped? You got the music stopped? Okay.
I gave us that much because we have to acknowledge our tribal chief, buddy.
Yes. Oh, well, spoiler, weirdo.
I know. I already told my husband this morning. I'm like, I'm going to know what's going to happen before we watch it tonight.
Yeah. It's sports. Yes. It's sports. It's entertainment. What can you do? You got to keep
Yes. Well, Weirdo didn't see night 2. But, so that was the big reveal that you just did. You came in super hot with the biggest spoiler of the evening, which is great. But it's Weirdo's fault for not checking that out. It was one of the biggest surprises, I think, for many, but not me. I honestly was leaning. I was like, I was hoping that Cody Rhodes, first off, I don't get why and how Cody Rhodes is so over. But considering the run,
I know why, baby.
Well, yeah, it's because of his dad. But considering the run that Roman Reigns is currently on and all the milestones he's vastly approaching, it's more money, it's more box office to keep that going than to just pass it off to the white boy, right?
Well, when you're this close, you're less than 50 days from 1,000.
Right.
Like the foundation they built is a thing. It's like, it's hard to let's start again because what they got going again, they're setting a precedent. How many guys did they make the other day? Right. If you look at a lot of these things, there was a lot of long title reigns on the line because even Bianca Belair was at the 1 year mark.
Yep.
Intercontinental.
She won.
Yep. And then Gunther setting records,
Now Gunther, all right, because I don't want to move past anything. So first and foremost, with Bianca Belair and Asuka, this is Asuka's 5th WrestleMania loss in a row.
No.
Why do they hate Asuka so much?
A villain. She's wrestled as the villain several times. That is what it is.
Not every time, no.
What was that? Not every time. Certainly not. But then that's when you're going up against the unstoppable Charlotte Flair. Up until, that's the point. Charlotte Flair didn't get to 14, by not crushing people. So that now, and again, we are all over the place because, you're right. Hello, WrestleMania. I'm chef's kiss, right?
All right. Well, okay. So Asuka, Bianca Belair, it was an okay match. Definitely not a match of the night. Now, and moving on to the triple threat match, if there was going to be a match of the night for night 2, that triple threat match between Gunther, Drew McIntyre, and Sheamus.
What a clubbering.
Yes.
I knew. Remember, I was even saying that one's going to be the one to look for that because I knew we're just going to watch these men beating the hell out of each other. Almost reminding us of oh, wait, that's right. That's what wrestling used to be.
Who did it used to be? I mean, dudes. I don't even remember.
Stronger, burly dudes in the 70s. And
yes.
Really beating the crap out of each other.
Right.
Hitting harder.
And that's what you're going to see in this triple threat match when you watch night 2, Weirdo. It was fantastic. And I'll tell you what, my butthole clenched through this entire match. And I was thinking Jerry the King Lawler vibes. I was concerned because they're doing chops and hitting the chest right on the heart. And just like that NFL player who went down, you hit the heart at the exact wrong moment, you could throw off the heartbeat and then go into cardiac arrest.
Yes.
So the way that they're whacking chests, I'm just like, someone's going to die. Oh, no. It was insane. But definitely, that had the crowd popping through the entire. So is it safe to say that triple threat match was your match of the night for night 2, or are you still leaning towards Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes and how that played out?
No, because that wasn't match of the night, like for sure. Like it was, I thought the main event was great, but I think again for wrestling and for entertainment and for the ride, it's the ride. That's what
Yeah.
it is. Because the main event of night one, and again, I love how. By the way, let's point out how terrible I am at this. On Friday when we talked about it, we only talked about night one and didn't get to preview night two. And now here we are on the other end of the weekend. Let's just talk, and we've only talked about night two and haven't even mentioned night one.
All right. Well,
Right.
night
I didn't even see it.
yeah, night one, match of the night for me, and I think many others had to have been Rhea Ripley and
Yes.
Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
Whoa! Isn't Rhea Ripley terrifying? I'm
Yes.
watching this match and I'm like, she's terrifying. Like looking around, like that was so good. That was just so good. But
I've never been so scared and close to orgasm at the same time in my life. At the same time in my life, like the internet, the way the internet thirsts after Rhea Ripley, I initially wasn't on board with that. Now I got the fever, 100%.
So good.
Yeah, and I'm like looking up Amazon porn. The whole thing is just, it's obsessive. But she was
So
fantastic.
you know how Dominic feels. I mean,
Yeah, no, I get it. But I mean, Triple H said this in the press conference afterwards about Charlotte Flair, and it should, there's no takeaway there. Charlotte Flair did such a fantastic job putting her over and putting her body on the line. And this was, I think, 7 WrestleManias in a row. I think that she was the champion going into this, which I didn't, I overlooked that.
Champion or challenger for the championship.
Yeah. So like, and she is like a generational talent is what Triple H was saying. But after she put in a performance like that, putting over Rhea Ripley in the process, it's hard to argue that she is not as good as anyone says that she is. I mean, she was fantastic.
Yeah. Absolutely. And again, this is why she just showed up. She traipsed in on what, a SmackDown or a Raw or randomly on a pay-per-view and fought Ronda Rousey to just be like, yeah, give me this, right? She just did play the role to a degree of transitional champion, but she's also Charlotte Flair. Like she is the mountaintop, and again, she is the opportunity. Like that is what it is. And Rhea Ripley going into this, not being humble, I need to be a star and I need that and I need to beat you. And that's a great story to tell. A lot of the stories were excellent. So let me go back to talking about the ride and let's talk about the main event of night one because
not yet. Because 2 things I want to ask you about this.
Right,
one, well, the Rhea Ripley is 26 years old, which I thought was mind blowing. She's just so young,
super young.
At the end of the match, Charlotte Flair is smiling like she's punch drunk, looking up. She got tears in her eyes. She seems so ecstatic and happy.
Yeah, it's the torch pass to a degree. She even already tweeted about it, like blah 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 blah. I'm proud of you. Where it's almost like breaking kayfabe, but not.
Was it scripted or was this, do you think they were going off script in this? And what does that mean for Charlotte Flair? Is she planning on having kids and stepping away from the professional wrestling ring?
She's stepping away for a second. Yeah, she's taking a break. She was already on a break. She came back for a moment, if you think about it. And that's because with Charlotte Flair, she's atomic fire. Like that's what it is. That's people complain about when Brock Lesnar goes away and comes back when he was the champ. Get mad at that. Sorry. It's called a special attraction. Charlotte Flair's a special attraction because she's almost too atomic to deal with.
Yeah, and she's earned it.
Yeah.
So, okay. So have you seen any dirt sheet materials on what we could expect on when we're going to see Charlotte next, or is she going to step away? Because I'm speculating that she probably wants to have kids, right? And so is she going to step away to have kids?
That's a good point. Andrade, El Idolo, what you going to do? It's going to happen.
Yeah. You're going to want to fuck them. I get it. All right. Hold on a second. I got to get on the air and do our single song takeover, and then we'll continue it before we get into our viral video. Oh, here we go. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. It's time for the single song takeover of the morning. And today I went 100% up to a request. I said, hey, I don't really have a single song takeover today. What's an old school song you used to hear on KFMA all the time that you don't hear anymore that you would love to hear for my single song takeover? Daniel came through with the dub. And he's like, you know what I want to hear that I haven't heard forever? Rehab Sitting at a Bar. I'm like, damn, son, that was the jam. Absolutely. And the reason why we do the single song takeover to bring back some of these classics. So without further ado, Here's your single song takeover. Rehab, sitting at a bar on Rock 1 2.1. That is not it right there. Take out. All right, that was Beck, loser. Son of a bitch. Let me do this one right now. Ready? There it is. All right, enjoy. I was like, I had it right there. It's like channel A.
Yeah, you had it all set up.
Son of a bitch. All right, hold that thought, because I want to jam this, Powers. We got more that we're going to be talking about throughout the show, but to keep it with variety, today's Morning Moron, a little something like this. 2.1 KFMA is Beef Vegan Presents. That, of course, was Bad Wolves. Tomorrow Never Comes. We are live on Instagram talking about this major announcement that we're going to make at 7:30. There's a big band coming to town at the TCC in August, and that's all I can tell you right now. The rest of it, I can't wait to share with you, because we'll have Win Up Before You Buying tickets for said event. So with that said, just keep it here all morning long, but be prepared at 7:30 for me to give you all the details I'm teasing right now, or head over to our Instagram live on Rock 1 2.1, because, loose lips sink ships. And I can't keep secrets for Jack. All right, it is now 6:15 and time for your Morning Moron. Let's do this. All right, today's Morning Moron is, just someone that got hurt, someone who's in love, and love hurts. Like, look, okay, Weirdo, I could assume that you've been in situations where you've broken a gentleman's heart or two, maybe even a couple ladies along the way, and maybe they didn't even handle it that properly. Did you ever get any kind of like stalker-esque moments where guys were a little obsessive in trying to get a hold of you?
Yes.
What was the most you think somebody tried calling you without a response?
I would say probably a good solid 10 or 15 like text messages unresponded.
Right.
Especially with the last one being like, oh my God, I saw you at the gym today. And it's like, oh, okay, I got to move gyms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I think a lot of us have been there in a certain situation. Usually it's something that happens when you're younger, whether you're a teenager in your early 20s. Guys in their 20s are nuts when it comes to love and getting their heart broken, but not when you're 44 years old. You should have a better grasp on people, like, hey, it didn't work out, or whatever the case, even if there was a long history between the two. Now, our Morning Moron today is a 44-year-old named Derek Bowers, who called his ex 815 times in just 2 days.
Whoa.
Yes, 48 hours, 815 times. And if you're keeping track or trying to do the math, that's 17 times an hour, or once every 3.5 minutes. If he didn't sleep at all.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Now that was, again, that's 48 hours straight if he did not go to sleep. So let's say he took a nap, or there was a little period of time he didn't text. That means he was just going over and over and over again.
Every 2 minutes. Come on.
And that's not all. He also sent his ex thousands of texts and Facebook messages over a few months, and used social media posts to call her out and embarrass her. So it sounds like Derek here could use a job or a hobby, or, I don't know, try like flogging his Molly a little bit, get the poison out. He was just arrested and charged with cyber stalking. He looks to face up to 5 years in prison, which it won't stop then. I mean, I'm sure she'll get probably about 100 different handwritten letters a day from Derek if he goes to prison. But again, this is nuts. And you get to a certain age, you just gotta, the scar tissue builds up.
Let it go.
Right.
There's so many fish in the sea.
There is.
I know that sounds really ridiculous, but thousands of text messages, 815 phone calls. Ugh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I do want to see a picture. Powers on the live stream as well. We'll do a couple more minutes of wrestling talk after I share some things. Now, there has been an announcement about WWE and UFC merger, with Vince McMahon commenting on this, and it looks like he dyed his hair too. He said it's the right time to do the right thing. And I will play a little bit of this, just enough to where I don't get booted off the stream. So I'm going to show this. And this is a big deal because the Endeavor Group is Ari Emanuel. And is it Vince McMahon? Do you see Vince McMahon right now? Does he have an evil mustache and dyed his hair?
He does. He's like, I'm going to sell the company.
Yeah.
What in the hell?
It looks like evil Vince McMahon, but this is a legitimate thing. The CNBC is sitting there and they're having this conversation. That's Ari right next to him. So that is the super agent that was portrayed in the show Entourage that now owns basically all of combat sports.
Is this right now?
This happened 2 hours ago.
Okay.
So
if they're sitting together and starting to make statements, it seems like it's pretty well a done deal.
Oh, I'm sorry. Welcome to the party,
Yeah,
weirdo. What are you talking about? This is
I know,
48 hours we've been talking about this. All right, hold on. Let's see.
WWE is you. So why? It's the right time. It's the right time to do it.
Are you kidding me?
In the hell?
You gotta look at Vince McMahon right now. This guy
dyed his eyebrows.
He dyed his eyebrows, his hair, and his mustache. Get this guy a job immediately. Retirement is not doing well for Vince McMahon.
Neither is his plastic surgeon.
He looks like he's gonna tie you up and put you on the train tracks.
Oh my God.
Insane. All right, we're going to make fun of him on the podcast broadcast.
Oh, my God.
Keeping the conversation moving, youtube.com/beefvegan, or keep it right here. It's Rock 1 2.1. What in the holy fuck is this?
What?
His horns are just going to start bursting out on the sides. He looks like the devil. That's not Vince McMahon. Remember, Vince McMahon got fired from this company for horrible things and behavior. This is Guy Incognito.
Who did worse things.
Insane. He thinks this mustache look was the look to go.
Oh, and it's not even like a full mustache. Like he shaved between his nose. What is happening?
He didn't want to look
the pencil thin.
Yes, he does look like Vincent Price in the tail end. He looks at Thriller. Vincent Price is what he was trying to go for. 100% dyed. Everybody knows that his hair's dyed.
Eyebrows. Like, what are you doing?
See, this is why he wanted to sell WWE. I'll tell you this right now. It's because Vince McMahon is trying to be forever young and live eternally. So I guarantee you, it costs about $1 billion to get all the stem cells you need to live another 50 years. So it's basically, let's accumulate all the money in the world, live forever, and look like that. I don't know.
I'm sending this to my husband right now.
It's amazing. It's amazing that everyone has seen him. He grayed over time, naturally for 20 years. We were watching him gray. So it's no secret to millions of people around the world that he has gray hair. But to be like, dye my hair and then my eyebrows and then my mustache and then make it pencil thin before I announce, this is crazy.
Triple A, nobody said anything to him, being like, yeah, buddy, this might not look so good.
No one likes him. Honestly, somebody has to say if they liked him, be like, hey man, I don't know about this look. And something about being a billionaire is sexy in your own right. I mean, you've seen Rupert Murdoch doesn't do anything to make himself look better. Definitely doesn't go to the gym. Looks like a fucking blob of just no bones, just all skin and wrinkles, and he's still fucking. So
I don't care how much money he has. That drives me up right there.
You know it.
The right thing. And it's the next evolution of WWE.
Okay, Holmes. Look at him. Yeah, he looks like
it doesn't look like he has any color in his eyes. It's just black. He is fully gone. Evil.
He's been evil. That's not the surprise. He does look a little Hispanic there now. I'm like, all right, Vince McMahon been spending his off time in Tucson, just like, maybe he's the one who said, you know what we should bring back? The LWO, Holmes. Yeah. I think, Vince is all about bringing back. You want the LWO? Oh, yes, I want the LWO.
Latino World Heat. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. Nice. All right. So, that's a thing.
That's a thing. That's the thing. All right. Oh, my God.
Amazing.
He's masterful. This is a business deal.
So insane. All right. So I'll have to watch more of that when we get off the air. Because I know I'm going to share this. All right. Here's something that you never knew you wanted to see, and you probably don't want to see it, but there's real estate agents. It's a grind. It's a hustle, right? And you're giving me a look. I feel like you've seen this.
I have not, but I've just seen like parodies of, different comedians making fun of real estate, and now it's just going to be real life. Yeah,
I have a lot of friends who are real estate agents, and I know some people who are dummies who make good money selling real estate. And my stepdad told me when I was 18, I need to get my real estate license. And I hesitated and I didn't because technically I was a felon and I didn't think it would play out, but I regret it because I could have juggled all that shit. I could have made money and continued to do radio, being a dummy selling real estate. Here's an example of someone who's probably not too bright, but knows how to create a viral moment to attempt her to sell houses. You remember the theme from Never Ending Story? Who doesn't, right? Yes. Well, this chick put together a parody video of Never Ending Story to help her sell a property, and it actually went viral. Over 500,000 views and growing viral. So it's a big deal, and I'm going to play it for you. Check this out.
This old house, there's so much here to see. Living room, all covered with these beams. SRC found fitting and solar panels too. With its own small business.
Oh, yeah? That looks like a fucking dungeon. What are you talking about, small business?
Never-ending property.
Used to be owned by Buffalo Bill, the never-ending right? Does that not look like the scariest house? Like, look at these beams. I'm like, the ceiling is 6 feet high. What are you talking about?
Oh my God.
Yeah, hold on. I guess.
It all just looks like a bad basement.
Yeah, man. Look at that pool table. Brilliant.
The never-ending property.
Those beams are awful.
So much space, and every room's a dream.
Or a nightmare.
Whoa.
Dining room, snuck games room, and the kitchen. Maybe you're a family.
Actually, a nice kitchen.
With growing teenage kids. This home has lots of options to all watch your own Netflix. The never-ending property.
Oh, there's another part of the dungeon.
There are beams just everywhere.
There are beams everywhere. They're
They're
thin
just
little
hot
beams.
glued on there.
It looks, so half-assed and none of it makes sense. It is a nightmare home for sure. Like, people got murdered in this house for sure. She's trying to send us carpet stairs.
No. The people weren't murdered. They were maimed, and they are still in the bathroom bleeding out.
Yes.
What is with the wallpaper choices?
I don't know. Just got a bunch of weirdos here, but who had too much money. But yeah, so she went viral for
The back
this
of the
together.
TV.
They showed the back of the TV.
It's just attached to two little, 2x1s.
Brutal. All right, and full-blown instrumental, and breaks it down. So there you go.
Carpeted stairs.
I like that. Mute that bitch. Very chauvinistic of you there. My ears are bleeding. And no more.
Speaking of, well, this was sponsored by that video. Can we keep talking about wrestling?
No. It's not an hour-long podcast about wrestling. We're keeping conversation, but yes, cap it up for me.
Cap it. Oh, we didn't even talk about main events. Whatever. Well, let me talk about the ride real quick, and then we got to talk about how our Wrestlemania talk was just sponsored by that video, and how sponsorship was such a great part of Wrestlemania.
Yes, there was a lot of sponsors. Some of them made sense. Like Mike's harder lemonade for the Sheamus and Gunther and Drew McIntyre fight.
Right?
Or match.
And then Cinnamon Toast Crunch for freaking Rey Mysterio.
I don't know about you guys, but I just want a bowl of delicious Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Well, they actually broke records this year with their sponsorship. Over $21 million sold in advertising before the event.
It's easy to break records that you can set. Remember, Major League Baseball tried to put logos on the bases and people revolted. The WWE is like, here's your winner and new champion. Brought to you by Heinz Ketchup. Just the fucking best.
I don't know. That didn't take me out of it. I mean, I saw it. Sometimes.
Comical.
Right. Yeah. But I see it as part of the business. I watched it for free on Peacock. It's kind of like it's with the game, right? So, this is the way that they're
Prime.
going to generate money and keep eyes on the product and be able to have that like huge setup that they had there. So, yeah.
Sure.
I mean,
How do you
even
feel about
this
and the Prime Energy bottle, that whole thing with Logan Paul, a riot.
saw that
Yeah.
coming from a mile away. That was
A
fun.
riot.
I knew it was KSI
Did you?
immediately. Yes, absolutely. Because, for two reasons. One, that's his business partner, and it makes sense. He's another YouTuber that has a huge following, and they want clicks and viral
Mhm.
moments. And just the way that he came out, his arms are too skinny to be, someone from NXT or a different wrestler. It was just meant to be. But the way that Seth got him to get frog splashed, I thought was brilliant.
Yep.
They timed that out perfectly. And I was concerned, and like I said this in the Tappy Hour podcast, I was concerned about Logan Paul going into this match because of his interviews. That he did a certain interview with Ariel Helwani, and he was out of it. Like the lights were on when nobody was home. He looked depressed. He like genuinely he talked about him going back and forth with his girlfriend, which has nothing to do with storyline, and how like busy he's been and how exhausted he is. And I was like, oh, they're gonna kill this kid. But he ended up being able to pull it out and have another fantastic match. If you're gonna rate this match on a scale of 1 to 5 stars powers, what are you gonna give it?
Don't ask me that. I'll go because I'm generous. You know me. I'm nice to things. I'll give it a 4.
Right. So I mean,
I would agree. It was a solid match, and like I've said, like I didn't think when they were doing the whole Logan Paul gimmick, I'm like, this is gonna be dumb. But dude has really leaned in, and he's got some natural talent. And yeah, for sure, when the second they went to like raise him up on the stupid wire, I was like, Shawn Michaels did that 20 years ago. Get the hell out of here.
well, that's what he's trying to do. And Anthony said that Logan's entrance was cringe, but he's a heel, so yeah, it can be cringe. It's one of those things where it's a get out of jail free card. You could be, like hated for coming in, be like, oh, that was so bad. Well,
Yeah.
that's good. Now you hate this guy even more. Leaning into it, but no, he is not. And that's the thing that he keeps pointing out. This guy doesn't even practice, he's like, he doesn't even know what kayfabe means. The guy is still like oblivious to what it means to be a professional wrestler and actually put in the effort. And he just naturally is that good at it. It's insane to see. He has the look, he has the frame, and him and Seth actually put together a very entertaining match that athletically was impressive.
Can we talk about Seth Rollins' ring gear when he came in? The hot pink Jeff Jarrett looking harness on his chest was fantastic.
Yeah, he's definitely in a BDSM. I mean, that's what it looked like to me for sure.
Who had the best entrance of all? What was your favorite entrance?
A lot of people were marking out about Dominic's entrance,
Oh
staying
my, they're
overnight
so
in jail, coming out of
stupid.
prison. That was funny.
No, I really like John Cena. That was the opening of the night, and the fact that they threw it to the Make-A-Wish and everything, and those 12 kids got to be on stage, and he was interacting with them, and that's just going to be experience for the rest of their life. I really liked it.
Yeah. A lot of people on the internet did not. They were disappointed by Cena's match and, didn't feel like it was needed to put over Austin like that. Austin,
Not in that way.
yeah, not in that way. So that did kind of suck. Cena, I hope that's not the last time you see him at WrestleMania.
Right.
I'm sure it's not. I did like, out of all of them, I mean, Rey Mysterio's entrance was good with Snoop to a certain extent, paying homage to Eddie. And then also coming into Nothing But a G Thing and in Los Angeles was cool. So that was good. And then what was the other? There was one.
Bianca Belair was pretty fun.
Yeah, that was a fun entrance too. But there was
I
one
like
necessarily
piano.
blew me away, and I'm trying to think which one it was. And it was probably the main event. It's probably
Was it the Roman Reigns one with the piano?
Oh, Roman Reigns' entrance was fantastic. Welcome back on Rock 102.1 KFMA. Hanging out with Weirdo and Powers, doing our WrestleMania recap. And we're trying to figure out what the best entrance was of WrestleMania because really, obviously it's not about the sports competition. It's the entertainment factor. And WrestleMania is the Super Bowl of entertainment when it comes to professional wrestling. So having that iconic entrance is a lot. A lot of people look forward to. Edge's entrance was super interesting because he started off with Slayer, which rocks, right? And then he had this weird mirror thing. And the only takeaway from Edge's entrance, which I loved, was that it was in the daytime. It wasn't night yet. And I just kept thinking to myself, this would probably look so much cooler if it was dark outside.
Yeah.
And then they had all the lights. But beyond that, they couldn't stall any longer. And I'm sure with Shane McMahon blowing out his knee, kind of, sped things up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and Charlotte Flair's entrance, I mean, very, very, very typical for the queen, because what robe is she going to come out with?
Yes.
And this bubble puffer jacket robe, like it was very pretty on the shoulders, but I was confused by all of it. I'm like, I think she's going to float away. Like, what is happening?
A lot of fashion show, because that was a long ramp, so it felt like a fashion show several times, especially with Seth Rollins.
Yeah,
Right.
Oh, well, it's always that way with Seth Rollins. So.
Yeah. So what was your favorite entrance of the night, Powers?
I think I liked the conductor for Seth Rollins getting the crowd to sing. Like, that was pretty fun. But
yes,
the piano for Roman Reigns was elegant.
Yes, it was. Roman Reigns' entrance is always stellar. In fact, actually, I have to play a few words. I'll be back with your beef tip, but we're keeping the conversation moving. YouTube.com/beefvegan. All right, yeah. So Roman Reigns' entrance for sure, but the conductor, actually, I didn't feel like the conductor did a good job. And, I didn't feel like the crowd was singing that loud and in unison as much, like they didn't need him.
Yeah, I was going to say, it didn't feel necessary, because when Seth Rollins' music goes, the crowd just does it on their own. Just let the 80,000 take it away.
Like they piped it in. That's why I'm like, that's the thing that kind of killed it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Don't pipe it in.
Right.
Just let it be. Right.
And then when his real music hit, the crowd answered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the main event of the first night? That's all I want.
Sure. Yes. Okay. Yeah. We'll wrap it with that, because again, it doesn't keep online viewers for our stream and stuff when we mark out on wrestling too much. So, but the main event, of course, being I didn't hear you, but the main event is, of course, keeping that like storyline moving of the bloodline, and that was the happy ending of WrestleMania is on the first night, because a lot of people, if you're rooting for Cody to win, you didn't get that Hollywood ending. But you did get it on Saturday night, and that was one of those tearjerker moments. Give me your takeaway from all of that.
So that was the thing that I talk about, the ride, right? Where, man, people are just like, it's not every week that people are kicking out of these moves, right? Some of the other company, AEW specifically, obviously, they kick out of gunshots every week. That's my problem with a lot of it. Whereas on WrestleMania, they kind of save it for this night. And oh man, everybody just looked like warriors. And you're watching friendships and all these storylines finally come together and intertwine. And way to make Sami Zayn look like a killer and a champ, and really for the two of them as best friends, all the homages to them growing up in that area and getting their careers started off together was fantastic. But I mean, at the end, when they're all kicking out of these things and it's these final moments, I mean, Jay is kicking out of a stunner.
Yes.
You don't see that a lot. And they really did. They're like, it's over now. He got put through a table. No, they rebounded. It's over now because they got triple super kick, this, that. Like they really took you on the ride.
Yeah, a lot of close calls. That was great. A lot of 2 counts.
And you didn't know who's going to win. And that's what I liked about the main event too. And that's what I liked about that Intercontinental Championship too. You're kind of a winner no matter what with that IC championship. But with this, they gave you the happy ending story where it is like the two friends that win. It's KO Mania and Sami Zania, and it all happened. And it was great. That was good. Great. And that was so fun to watch. Because again, I watch a lot of people with WrestleMania, they just tune in or maybe they see these special events. I do watch every Raw, every SmackDown, and this. So to watch it all unfold is excellent because you feel it.
Their back storylines and where they're moving it forward is good. And then, of course, tonight's going to be exciting to see what happens for the rest of the Raw after WrestleMania. And then where the storyline is going to move forward. Having Roman as champion keeps power in the bloodline, which is good. It's not turning them into full-blown chasers, but of course, Roman's going to be disappointed with his cousins for losing the belts, and they're going to be chasing after and a still fresh rivalry with Sammy and KO. So that makes it work out good. I'm stoked about that. We'll see. Who do you think? Yeah, go for it.
What'd you think of Bobby Lashley's match at WrestleMania?
Oh, go fuck yourself. So, who do you think is going to show up tonight for Monday Night Raw? Who do you think is going to be a surprise returning?
I have no idea.
All right. What do you
don't-
think?
don't-
What did you think of the Brock Lesnar match?
Didn't even see it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I
Almost
missed
quick.
it. It was that quick, and I was on my way back from the
you
folk
could
festival.
rewind. You could rewind. You know that, right?
Yeah, no, yeah, you actually couldn't. You got to wait for that replay, and then I'm like, I got.
No, I rewind. Like
Yeah.
when I came back. In fact, actually, this is what screwed me on Saturday night because we were doing Tappy Hour, and
Yeah.
it started about an hour
Mhm.
before Tappy Hour ended. So when I got home, I rewound it to the beginning, and I started watching, and then I was able to fast forward through some of the BS moments, but I didn't fast forward enough because I'm halfway through the main event on Saturday, and then after the press conference. Then
Then it
cut the shit.
resets. Yeah. I mean, when
Wow.
we were at Dia de los Luchas, and like we were watching that, but there was, some kind of quiet moments. So me and my husband were just sitting there watching WrestleMania. So that's when I got to watch Rhea Ripley win and do the whole thing. And again, that I got to go back to that match. The combos and stuff that they did were just so impressive on that.
Yeah,
So
when
good.
when Charlotte Flair got flipped and landed on her face, and you
Mhm.
Right on her
see,
beak, just like
yeah, she got the rug burn and
Yeah.
everything, and yeah, all the different moves they were to pull off. What do you think Rhea said to Charlotte before she landed her finishing move off the second rope? Because she picked her up, she got her in that position for
Mhm.
her finisher, and
Yeah.
you could tell she went down and she said something to her.
It
Her
had to
mouth-
have been thank you or something
Probably.
similar. I mean, I don't think she made it overly cheesy or anything, but it must have just been like a thank you. I respect you so much.
You know what? I bet you I know exactly what she said.
No, God. I know where this is going.
She lifted her up. She get in position, just about to drop her. She looks down. She's like, "Man, your fake titties are heavy."
Hey, Charlotte Flair was completely limp. Like, so Rhea Ripley was really carrying her. And she is so strong.
She is strong. All right, so Jeff is saying Braun from NXT and Bobby tonight on Raw. So Bobby, yes, got to get on tonight to start some kind of a storyline or whatever the case. And will it be Bobby versus Roman? Have we had that? We've already had that run, have we not?
I'm not sure if we actually have, but we'll
All
see.
right. Well, Bobby versus Roman should be at least considered. Braun, of course, going to be a while before there, but thanks for that, Anthony. Let's do our beef tip and we'll wrap things out. You had a good time at the Jazz Festival, I see.
It was a folk festival, and yes,
Folk Festival. Okay.
it was great.
That was in
I love
Hakami
it.
Plaza. That was in front of the
Yes.
library, right? Yeah, we
Yeah.
walked by it on our way down to the Rialto.
Yeah,
Looked like a solid crowd.
yeah, and I even saw, like, as I was walking, I saw Jen Blanco going to her gig. Like, so it's really funny, like, right? And I love that we were at all the events that we were talking about. Like, what a great
Yeah.
time, right? It
Yeah,
was a great weekend, teaching kids all that stuff. Had a great, like, some excellent moments, and a few people that recognized my voice from Lifestyle Tucson, and they said, "You're doing a
Oh,
great
that's
job."
cool.
Yeah,
This guy say he's already
Humble brag.
jumped ship. Rock 102.1 KFMA. He's just like, oh, you may recognize me from Lifestyle Tucson. Not any other show. Just Lifestyle Tucson. This guy, that was power as well. I'm glad you had a good time at the Jazz Festival. All right, let's wrap things up here, of course. And with this, I want to give you a beef tip. And here's my beef tip to you. It's all about confidence. And this is, I'm basically speaking to my buddy Powers, who lacks the confidence to go in front of people. So there's a new poll that found the average American feels insecure about 5 times a day, right? And half of those people actually pretend to be confident. And they say it actually makes them feel more confident. And a third overall says it's something that they do a lot. So some of the top things that can shake our confidence on a typical day include speaking in front of large groups, not being fully prepared for something, or being the last person to show up for a meeting. But here is a tip for you that works for people who aren't confident, but does confident things regularly. Just fake it. Just pretend.
Fake it till you
Nobody
make it.
knows what you feel on the inside. If you put on a brave face and you fake like you're confident, and the next thing you know, people are going to consider you confident, and you're going to build that charisma of being someone who knows what they're doing at all times. So fake it till you make it is definitely a beef tip that you should be utilizing every single day. That's what we did.
Yeah.
Right. And we made it on the radio somehow. Huh? I mean, hell, Powers is the host of Lifestyle Tucson, the largest show in Southern Arizona. So,
Look out.
be on the lookout for that.
And I'm on here several times a week having no idea what I'm doing, but I'm here.
You're faking it well. I'd like to thank our in-studio guest today, Kate from the Autism Society of Arizona. Don't forget, All In for Autism is on April 15th. I bet you didn't hear that on Lifestyle Tucson because you don't listen, but you heard it here first. And you can get information from that. You just check out our Facebook page on Rock 102.1. We posted the link there. All this week, we're giving away tickets for Incubus before they go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. So make sure you tune in tomorrow at 7 a.m. for your next opportunity to win. Till then, Robin Nash is up next. Enjoy the rest of your day. Drive safe, ride safe. And as always, rock local. Later. Hey, is that Powers from Lifestyle Tucson
On a side of beef, soon will come an end to all your grief. But if you've been mean or kind of
it's kind
bad,
of a big deal.
I will knock out all your teeth.